Back with the Traxxas 4Tech. This is the 3.3. I ran it last night, and after a full tank, the tire came unglued. So I'm back to run it again with some stock wheels and see what adjustments needed in the 2-speed clutch. I did attempt to make an adjustment, but as soon as I was about to drive it, I realized the tire was screwed up, so I wasn't able to continue. So now we will see if the adjustment I think I made was done or if I still need to make an adjustment. It's hard to tell if you make an adjustment in the field because it's really hard to line things up and make sure that you've got the Allen key into the set screw. So yeah, now that I've got the right wheels, let's see if the adjustment was made or if I still need to make one. Super windy. So I think the adjustment was made. I did do 3/4 of a turn out. I just ran a full tank through it, and I wasn't satisfied with how it was performing. I'm still not. I heard it shift once or twice on that whole tank. I adjusted the brakes. And I also forget if I messed with the carburetor when I ran it last night. I didn't get to record anything because the tire gave way just before I was about to start recording, so I don't have any records to go off of. But yeah, this does not perform the way I want, so yeah, I think I have to go back 3/4 turn to get a baseline with these new wheels. The exhaust sounds loud too. I also want to do an exhaust swap, put a metal pipe on this one. As you can see, I rerouted the wires to behind the pipe, just like in the 5. But yeah, it's getting late, so based off that performance, I'm just going to treat it like I'm starting from scratch. The transmission clutch was tuned for the other wheels. I'm not sure if that makes any difference, but it was 3/4 turns out. So now I'm going to go a full turn in, which will bring it a 1/4 turn in from factory. And then I'm also going to switch to a metal tuned pipe. This still needs to have the exhaust examined. I need to be sure that the gasket is still intact, but it was running good last time. I need to test this one. It's been built pretty much ready to go. Just gotta test the electronics and do some bench testing to make sure that the engine will run before I take it out. And then I've got this last one here, and before I do any of things to these. I'm gonna get this one taken care of, fully refurbished. These are the parts I think I'll need. And I'm actually gonna test out this GoPro that I was gifted. So I'm gonna do the full disassembly and record it on this. And because it's two different places that the data will be saved, I'm just gonna upload this separately. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I used it the other day. So that's what I'm gonna do. So that's what I did. Full disassembly, clean. Now it's ready for reassembly. So now that the car is fully broken down, I'm going to start the reassembly process and record it on here. And there you have it. So I'm going to clean up the bench and then continue the rebuild from this camera. Alright, so now that the major overhaul is complete and it's together, I find that I'm going to want to replace the oil in these shocks as there's not quite enough. And I don't like these stock 2.0 wheels on here. The rears are ridiculously wide, and I went ahead and picked up these cheap wheels. They are glued, but they're imperfect, so those will serve just fine. The oil in the shocks is not dirty, so I'm just going to top them off, but you can see how empty they are, so I thought it was necessary based off of the compression test that they needed to be refilled. So we'll just put some stock Traxxas oil in them and reinstall them. They should be good. What a difference just from adding a little bit of oil. They feel quite good now. These wheels look good. This one's going to get pretty dirty from the exhaust, but it is what it is. So now the overhaul is complete. Just got to work out the engine details and we will have a runner. Alright, so now we're breaking into the engine. This stuff will come off easily. It's just kind of on there. So that'll clean up nice. But I'm noticing that the pins on the flywheel are bowed in a little bit. So we'll replace that. I've got two other Traxxas flywheels. Not in the best condition, but they're in better condition than the one that's on there. So get the rest of this engine broken down and cleaned up and installed in the chassis. Alright, so now that the shocks are refilled, the wheels are swapped, we've got the body posts front and rear on, and the switch, as well as the throttle servo. Now I just have to install the engine, but I noticed on the carburetor that the boot is cracked. It's a little dry rotted in one spot, but you know, some of the older cars don't have a boot on the carburetor. For example, the HPI 15s, 12, whatever, So I think I'm just gonna send it, and then just know that I'm gonna need to order some more of those boots. But these are the parts that I used for this car. And I just got to get the engine in there. With the engine installed, we now have the fourth and final runner. I noticed in the clutch bells when I was looking at them that some of the bell housings are a little bit longer, if you will, or deeper. For example, the one in the middle is a little bit more shallow where the clutch itself goes. I think that just has to do with saving weight. The distance between the back of the housing and the higher tooth gear is the same between the different ones. The new housing that I put in this car was the same size as this middle one here. So just pointing out the fact that that's a little bit different, and I noticed it. I don't know if it's a different part number or they just decided to make this a little bit shallower. So I'm happy to be at this point. I've got two cars that need to be tested. They've been fully refurbished. And I've got two that need a little bit of TLC. We need some baseline tuning here in the 2-speed clutch as well as the carburetor, and I need to solve this engine, this small exhaust leak. Hopefully the gasket is intact. But I'm a little four-teched out, so I'm going to move on to some other cool projects I've got. These are all the new parts that I've gone through to get these 4 cars going. So yeah, if you've made it this far, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your interest in Nitro, and you're going to want to stay tuned because, as always, we've got some more cool stuff like this to go over.